Hey, welcome back to video 2 in this PowerPoint Armchair Designer series, and today I'm going to walk you step by step through the proven 10-step image creation process I've perfected and swear by, so you'll know exactly how to create any image you need by the time we're done here today. But first, I have to thank you. The raving comments and feedback from you guys on the first video has been flooding in, and I've been reading every single comment. You guys are friggin' rock stars. I mean, true action takers, happening makers. I love it. I'm just so honored to be guiding you on this PowerPoint design journey of yours, and I really truly relish the opportunity you're giving me to step up and deliver results for you in your image creation efforts, and I do not take that lightly. I feel like a proud parent. I can remember the feeling of accomplishment and the natural high that I got from creating my own visual masterpieces when I first got started, and frankly still to this day. So I'm just beyond jazzed to help you attain that same achievement. And remember, it took me 6 monumental failures, not little ones, really big ones, until I discovered design and rode that bad boy all the way to successful and thriving self-employment. And guess what? I want that same freedom and success for you. So I have packed in as much design goodness and incredible value into this training as I could, so I know you're not going to be disappointed. Now here's the thing, a lot of naysayers out there are going to tell you that PowerPoint is not an image editor. And to them I say, yeah, no shit, Captain Obvious, it's a presentation tool. I'm not arguing that. But let me ask you this. When Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook, was it to advertise on? Was it to sell products on? Was it to build an email list on? Yeah, I'm going to say no, and I'd venture to guess Zuckerberg didn't have a clue about email lists, so no on that one too. Here's the deal. A lot of things are made for one purpose, yet can be used for many. I mean, ever heard of repurposing or upcycling? Hell, people have built entire homes, businesses, and masterpieces out of things they used in unconventional ways. Well, that's exactly what we're doing here by using PowerPoint as our image creation tool. And the best part about using PowerPoint is that most of us already know how to use Microsoft products, right? We don't have to struggle through a brutal learning curve or bask in the cup of noodle lifestyle so we can draw bread on pricey Adobe products. The truth is, PowerPoint evens out the playing field for non-designers. End of story. Now all you need to do is learn some basic best practices and follow a proven system, which is what I'm here to give you, and in a very short period of time, become your own badass armchair designer, which has been proven by my mom and my non-desired clients, some of the same clients that used to pay me big bucks to create their images for them. It's pretty funny, but I'm really proud of them. So I'd love to let you watch over my shoulder as I walk you through that system, what I call the 10-step image creation process. The same system your fellow armchair designers are already using to create their killer images in PowerPoint. So let's dive in. Alright, there are 3 phases of design. Phase number 1 is your planning phase. Phase number 2 is the creation phase, and wrapping it up is phase number 3, your production phase. So this is the flow that the 10-step image creation process that I'm going to teach you today follows, meaning each step progresses you through these 3 phases. So first things first, when it comes to design and image creation, planning and plotting out your design is crucial. Not to mention, it's going to save you a ton of time. So the elements that you need to plan include color palettes, font choices, and image selections. So that's exactly where the 10-step image creation process begins. Now I've outlined my go-to resources for all 3 of these elements and some tips and tricks to using them in PowerPoint in the workbook I've linked below this video. It's another free gift from me for generously giving me a piece of your day again and letting me guide you on this transformative journey So I'm not going to walk you through each of these resources today. That's why I've outlined them in great detail in that workbook. So after we're done here, I'd highly recommend you check out each of those resources and really invest where you can. These are the resources I use for my color palettes, fonts, and royalty-free images and graphics. It's all there for you to steal, pillage, and use. They are resources I love and swear by, but full disclosure here, some of those resources are affiliate links, meaning if you end up purchasing through one of them, I get the pot at the end of the rainbow. And I hear they're going to even throw in a leprechaun. But in all seriousness, make sure you grab that. It's a great resource, and I've outlined everything I'm covering in this training. All right, so let's move on to step number 2. So I have a little confession to make here. You actually already know the next 2 steps. In fact, they're the hardest steps in the entire 10-step system, and you didn't even know you were learning them. How do you like them apples? I'm tricky like that. So step number 2 is setting up your canvas for image creation, which we covered in that first video. Remember, I showed you how to use an image calculator to convert your image size from pixels to inches and how to insert that into PowerPoint to create your custom canvas. Step number 3 is creating that macro I walked you through. And I know you remember the macro and that coding. You guys were all buzzing about that coding. So in less than a couple minutes, we have tackled the planning phase and we're ready to start the creation phase at step number 4. So after you've got your fonts, colors, and images all plotted out and your slide canvas all set up, it's time to move from planning to creating. So the first step in the creation phase is creating your background. Now for this training, I'm going to walk you through creating a blog image. So for my blog images, I typically use a photograph as my background. Not always, but typically. So here I've inserted a royalty-free image from Graphic Stock, which is one of those killer resources I was just talking about. All right, step number 5 is to add any graphical elements. So these are things like shapes, smart art, charts, so on and so forth. So for my blog image, I've added 2 shapes. A rectangle with a transparency dialed down so you can see that gorgeous photo in the background, and a thin dotted line around that. Now step number 6 is where we insert any titles that are in our image. So for my blog post, I've added the title of my blog, of course. Now here I've used the same font, just different bolded weights and sizes. This is all Century Gothic font. I've simply used the text outline feature in PowerPoint and played with the sizes of the font and the letter cases, meaning lowercase or uppercase. That's it. That's all I did. I didn't get any fancier here. Now step number 7 is to add any subheadlines or body text that you have in your image. Now here's the deal. In the creation phase, there are some steps that you might need to skip, depending on the type of image you're creating and what the design of that image is that you've chosen. So for instance, for my blog image here, I don't have any subheadlines or body text. But let's say I was creating a how-to image, for example. That would probably be a different story. I would probably have main headlines and then a little blurb below that about how the step works. Does that make sense? That text is what I am calling subheadline or body text. So just keep that in mind. It's always okay to skip something that's not applicable in the process. More than anything, I want you to understand that this 10-step image creation process is a guideline, but it is not the holy grail, okay? Use your judgment and just be aware of this. That's all. Now, step number 8, here's where you're going to add your domain or some type of branded watermark to your image. Now, you need to get in the habit of adding some kind of watermark or domain to your images so that they can't be stolen or swiped off the internet without giving you the credit you deserve. So this step is really just a protection element so that when those unethical a-holes out there steal your work, they're not going to victimize you. So instead of fighting an uphill battle with those unethical a-holes, think of them as another viral vehicle. If your image has a watermark or a domain on it, they aren't going to be able to do a thing about it. So as you can see, I've added a domain to the bottom right corner of my blog image using the exact same font, Century Gothic. And that wraps up the creation phase and moves us on to the production phase. So step 9 brings us back to that macro that we created earlier in step 3 that I walked you through in the first video. So here we need to run the macro, which will produce out our image or save our image to the location we specified, which was a desktop, remember? So the image will have the name that you added in the macro and be the same dimensions in pixels that you listed in that macro, which for the example I'm using was 600 pixels by 400 pixels. So to run that macro, all you need to do is go up to the Developer tab at the top in PowerPoint, select Macros, select the macro you want to run, and then click Run. Now you can locate your image on the desktop, rename the file whatever you want, and move it to whatever final resting place or final file folder on your system you'd like. And voila, I've got me a perfectly sized to my website blog image and a templatized PowerPoint file that I can now simply add another slide to and create my next blog image. I really hope you're getting excited about how much time and money this process is going to save you, how much guesswork has been taken out, and how endless the possibilities really are for leveraging PowerPoint as a powerful image creation tool. Because that, folks, is how incredibly straightforward and easy it is to create images in PowerPoint. I promise you, it's not just me making it look that easy. It really is. Please, please, please remember that nothing I'm sharing in this training is theory or might work. This is the exact same process I follow to create all of my images. It's the exact same process regardless if I'm creating an advertising image, promotional, website header, blog image, anything. You know what they say? If it's not broken, don't fix it. This system has worked for me for over 2 years. It's the same system that every one of my fellow PowerPoint designers use, and it's what's allowed my 65-year-old mom to create all the images she needs for her event planning business. She even designed invitations for a couple of her clients. Wedding invitations. Ladies, you know the kind of crazy we come out when it's wedding time. She is one brave lady, but honestly, she's a killer armchair designer these days. She is arguably one of my greatest success stories, but more on that later. For now, I hope I've showed you the light, my little grasshopper, and you are on the edge of your seat waiting for me to stop yammering so you can start designing. But one last thing before you go. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed or to get frustrated with this new skill set you're learning. I've showed you a ton, but I am not done, not even close. So here's the deal. In 2 days, I'm going to deliver another training video to your inbox that's going to tie everything I've showed you in these last 2 videos together. Check this out. I'm going to give you a completely free PowerPoint graphics pack that's loaded with 10 top-notch images I've designed specifically for you, and I'm going to walk you step by step through exactly how to use those images as your own. I'm going to show you how to change the colors, fonts, how to swap out images, absolutely everything you'll need to know to be able to immediately use that pack to create whatever type of image you need right away. I know that showing you in a quick video doesn't mean you're a pro yet. You need practice and you need time to hone your skills. I also know time is money, and you probably need these images long before you're going to be comfortable creating them from scratch. So this graphics pack is going to substantially cut down the time it takes you to create your images, as they're already quote unquote done for you. All they need is your finishing touch and unique branded look, and they are ready to go. So keep an eye out for that in your inbox in 2 days. You are not going to want to miss this one. All right, I am not going to take any more of your time today. I'd much rather call it a day here and let you discover your armchair designer legs and use them to strut your stuff. So keep an eye out for your next PowerPoint design training video in your inbox in 2 days. But for now, I'd love to hear from you. So in the comment section below, let me know if you're basking in your new status as armchair designer or if you're still firmly planted on that fence. Let me know what's holding you back or what you're still skeptical about. Talk to me, guys. It's the only way I can help you. So once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you and you giving me a piece of your day like you have no idea. I hope I knocked your friggin' socks off with PowerPoint goodness today, but if I didn't, I hope you'll let me know that too. I might be tiny, but I'm not breakable. So bring it, be honest, let me know what's up. Look, guys, you got this. I am here and committed to seeing to it. Now get out of here and go enjoy your day or evening, and I will see you soon. As always, cheers!